Hey guys, hello and welcome to another installment of Vincent Films. My name is Vincent, and from March 23rd, 2017 to March 22nd, 2018, I tried to break the record of most films seen in a cinema in 1 year, the Guinness World Record that was set at 500, and 2 weeks ago, at the end of my attempt of 365 days, I reached the number 715 films. Now, this isn't official yet, simply because I haven't submitted all the pieces of evidence to the Guinness World Record yet. The reason being that I'm still uploading everything to Google Drive, because unfortunately I cannot just send in all the pieces of evidence on an external hard drive. I have to upload everything on the Google Drive and then give them access to that. But also, even though the uploading is still ongoing, also I'm waiting for two witnesses, well actually for one, because two witnesses need to go over everything and then attest that everything is in order. Now, I got one witness statement back today of that mission that took like 7 or 8 days. It's a lot of work, and let's just say it's not perfect, unfortunately. They noted some things that I remembered that I deleted accidentally a picture of me with the poster at the theater, or just for one or two screenings there weren't any posts available because of technical difficulties or because there were special screenings. So with that being said, I'm confident, and the fact of the matter is I saw 715 films, and with all the pieces of evidence surrounding each and every film, there's enough there to attest that I did watch these freaking films. So I watched them. So what I'm thinking is that even if for some freaking reason, the Guinness doesn't recognize the record, I know, you know, we know, we are very knowledgeable. We know that I did it. I saw 715 films. Whether the Guinness recognizes it or not, I have to tell myself that so that I don't go crazy if they, don't accept it for some reason. Now, so I'm still waiting for those the last witness statements. Then I have to do a cover letter explaining everything that I did, how I proceeded, which witnesses I chose, what cameras I used, how I used it, why I did everything, where, when, everything. All these elements have to write them down on the last day before submitting everything, when I have everything else, and then I'll submit it. So we'll see. I hope it'll be at the end of this week, but maybe not. But what did I do? I did not go see a film this week in theaters. I saw films at home when I was in the southwest of France with my family for Easter. But what I did also is go over the logbook. I glanced through the logbook and got a few statistics if you are interested in them. Oh, just one thing I need to mention is that I didn't go watch a film this week, but next week is going to be an amazing week for old films, because this weekend there's one film I definitely wanted to see, which is a Streetcar Named Desire. There's no specific reason. I've seen the film, but I wanted to see it again, and so I went to the, not because of it, but then I went to the site of the Christine 21, and I saw that this week, the next 2 weeks, are a retrospective of Elia Kazan's films. So Thursday, tomorrow, I'll see On the Waterfront in theaters. Saturday, I'll see East of Eden in theaters. Sunday, I will see A Streetcar Named Desire in theaters. Probably 35mm. I don't know yet. Next week, I don't know which days yet, I'm going to see The Last Tycoon and America, America. So it's going to be an amazing week. And next Thursday, and I can probably talk about it again on Wednesday, next Thursday, I will see Lawrence of Arabia in theaters. So it's going to be great, and there's going to be a lot to talk about next week. But statistics. Now, I thought two things that I thought. First thing is, I thought that I would have watched more old films than new films. I was wrong. Not by much, by 67 films, but I was wrong, because out of the 715, I saw 391 films, new releases, and 324 old films. It's still impressive, I believe. Like 324 old films. That's crazy. The theater I went the most often to was the Christine 21, which is a theater that almost always only screens old films, and I saw there 209 films. Number 2 is actually the Gaumont Opéra Premier, and it's at 106. So the first cinema I went the most often to was Christine 21, and I saw 209 films. And the second on the list of the most frequented cinema is Gaumont Opéra Premier, and it's 106. So there's like 100 film gap. It's crazy. Then I wanted to know which director I saw the most films of. Of course, this is going to be only for the old films, because no director except for Doug Liman had 2 films come out this week. The first one was The Wall, which I really liked, and the second one was Barry Seal, American Traffic. No, that's a French title. American Made, with Tom Cruise, which also was a lot of fun, both directed by Doug Liman. But the director I saw the most films of was Alfred Hitchcock. I saw 15 films of him, which was pretty impressive. And then Billy Wilder, I saw 11 films of him, some great ones. And I saw 11 films of Billy Wilder, but I did not see Some Like It Hot. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with the theaters? What happened? I saw 8 films of Fellini. And I have to say, though, my favorite one of Fellini is La Dolce Vita. And even though I saw 8.5, I thought it was a bit too weird for my taste. One thing I'm very happy about is that I saw 8 Howard Hawks films. And I think one of my favorite films of all is in there, and it is Only Angels Have Wings. This is a film with Cary Grant, Jean Arthur, and a very young and magnificent. This was the first time I saw it, and that's something funny coming out of the film. I remember that actress, Rita Hayworth, one of her first films, and I didn't know anything about her yet, but coming out of that film I thought that woman was dynamite. And I saw 11 John Huston films. 11. Saw The Maltese Falcon, which was great, Night of the Iguana, African Queen, and among others, Treasure of the Sierra Madre. And but talking about French directors, I saw 6 films by Henri-Georges Clouzot. And if you remember, I might have talked about him earlier, or in videos when I saw those films already. All 6 films that I saw, I don't believe all of his films are amazing. I haven't seen them all, but at least all 6 films that I saw were top notch. And I think if I did a top 20, all 6 would be in that top 20. You have La Vérité, which is interesting because La Vérité is with Brigitte Bardot. Brigitte Bardot is a French version of Marilyn Monroe, but I prefer actually Brigitte Bardot because even though I wouldn't remember now, but I think Marilyn Monroe is more in comedic roles, Brigitte Bardot has some films, including this one, La Vérité, where yes, she is a babe, and she is filmed as a babe, of course, but La Vérité is much more than that, and she has a true dramatic role in there, and a dramatic performance, which is great. It's a trial film with flashbacks, so she stands trial, and at the same time you discover her lifestyle, which, she was a babe. And this film is amazing, really. And then Le Corbeau, L'Assassin habite au 21, the assassin murderer lives at number 21. And other films, I could go on and on, really. I could spend hours talking about all the films that I saw. Cleopatra by Joseph L. Mankiewicz, which was a masterpiece, 4 hours and 15 minutes, and it was not 1 minute too long, in my opinion. I know some people might think it's long. The Blue Angel by Joseph von Sternberg, the first film that I saw with what's her name? Marlene Dietrich. I hadn't seen any film of Marlene Dietrich, and I'm German. A French German, but still, grew up in Germany, and I had never seen it, and it was great, but actually, I preferred even Angel, also with Marlene Dietrich, directed by, who did that? I wrote it somewhere. Well, sorry, I forget who directed Angel, but it was great with Marlene Dietrich. A Place in the Sun by George Stevens, great, and of course, Frank Capra. Frank Capra is the director, in my opinion. It's a Wonderful Life. is one of the best films made. Not necessarily because you have, of course, Citizen Kane, which is on the top, but It's a Wonderful Life. I think It's a Wonderful Life. I've never had such a strong emotional reaction at the end of a film. I mean, the ending, even though it's not tragic at all, it's kind of, but I mean, the whole ending, everything from going to building up to the sadness and then the relief and everything, it was just, there are no words to describe how it was. That being said, though, I have to admit that even though I have such strong feelings for It's a Wonderful Life and Frank Capra, the best cinematic experience, I think, if I remember correctly, but the best cinematic experience I had was Back to the Future by Robert Zemeckis. I don't know why. I grew up with this film. Did I? It's older than me, but I saw it very often on video cassette, VHS, and continuing watching it, making the comparison of 50s nowadays and everything. And I don't know why, but when I saw that in theaters, I think it was this year the best experience I had. I saw amazing films, amazing old films, French films, Italian films, Spanish films, American films, German films, but it was, I believe, Back to the Future that was just the most exciting, the most thrilling, the most fun moment in theaters that I had this year. Well, I'm a bit over time. Let's talk more next week when I'll know more. I hope that I'll have submitted everything by then. I will have seen great films by Elia Kazan. I will watch also old new releases, I think. I should at some point, so I can talk about those as well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following everything that I did, and let's hope that it still goes well for the Guinness World Records. Anyway, see you soon. Salut.